G'day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke here, how you going? Today I've got this elm that I did the repotting video on, Chinese elm. It's got enough spring growth on it now that I'm going to chop it back to either the first or the second node, get rid of some of the branching that I don't want, and I'll probably leave the wire on because it's not really cutting in anywhere yet, and by cutting it back you're actually slowing down the growth for a little while, or the thickening of branching until the next lot of growth shoots out. So, and also cutting it back now will help the help balance out the growth of the tree, because you've got a few sections here that are quite strong, but then next to it you've got tiny little shoots that haven't really pushed, and the tree is quite unbalanced at the moment. It looks pretty cool as a tree, but yeah, if you have a closer look, it's a bit unbalanced. Some shoots barely opening, other shoots quite long already. As you can see, that one there is probably 7 to 8 inches already. This is the one that I did the repotting and put that pond in. One of the rocks fell out here, which is a bit of a bummer. But in general, the rocks are staying in there and getting a bit of green moss on them. I'll give you a bit of a close-up of that. I've got one weed at the back here which I'll try to very carefully pull out. Don't want them growing in there. Okay, so I'll give you a spin of the tree now, and I'll give you a close-up of the pond we got here. Okay, so that's your spin of the tree. This one here I've been developing for a number of years now. I did it from a straight whip, Mitre 10 whip. It's been in a pot its whole life. Yeah, pretty happy with it really. It doesn't have a really thick trunk, but that's a nice little tree. They don't all have to be big powerful trees with a big thick trunk. You can get some nice thin trunked, more elegant ones. Okay, I'll just show you in here. As you can see, got some sections of really strong growth, but then at the base, some of those you got some really weak sections that aren't really growing very well. So hopefully by cutting these strong ones back, we're leaving out the growth over the whole tree. And I'll just show you, I've got a bit of rapid raiser here, a bit of fertilizer. I'll just spin around. You can see all the contrast of the green, the moss, a little bit of slime. Bit of an ant climbing up there. So if you see an ant climbing up, it generally means that you've got scale. So that could also be why the balance isn't quite good enough. Might have scale, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. Anyway, where was I? Oh, back to showing you the pond. You can see the green moss on the rocks now. It's pretty cool. Sort of best views from the front for the pond. Sort of looks a lot more realistic like that. I like this one here with the cracks in it. So yeah, a lot of different colours and greens and blacks, and the water's gone brown, a really dark green stagnant look now. You can still see the container pretty obvious, but from the front it looks quite good. Can't really tell the container's there too much. So yeah, I'll get to cutting that back. Okay, so I sat there and watched some of the ants climbing around, and I have noticed scale on here. So pretty much 9 times out of 10 you see scale, you've got sea ants, you've got scale. So very hard to see. I didn't even notice them until I seen the ants. I'll just show you right there at the tip of the scissors. That there is a scale. See if I can knock it off for you. There's a pretty hard to knock off. They stick almost like a leech to your skin. Okay, so I've knocked one off. It's on the tip of me scissors there, and that's a scale, so you can see the underside of it. Whoops, dropped it. I'll just pick it up. Okay, so I picked it up. Got dirty fingers there, Sam. What are you doing? Right, there's a scale, and if you flip it over, I'll try and do it carefully. Right, I'll just squeeze it. I'll just show you the liquid come out. Definitely a scale. There's a few on the tree. It's not too bad yet. So what I'll do is I'll treat it with some pest oil. Get rid of them. You can't use white oil in summer because it's just too strong for it. It'll burn all the leaves off. So in summer you use pest oil. Winter you can get the stronger stuff, the white oil on it. So I'll keep a good eye on that. And see how we go. Now you can see at the bottom of this branch here, quite a strong branch. So what I'm going to do with that one, I'll just cut it back to 2. Cut this one here back to 2. Got an inside one here. Don't need. Another one here where there's 3. Another one there where there was 3. Cut this one back to 2. And I'll just go through and do this through the whole entire tree. And then show you at the end what we come up with. It'll look a lot better, but it will hopefully balance the tree out a bit. G'day, welcome back. Got the trimming done. I just got some Eco Pest oil which I had lying around. I'm going to spray the tree with that. That won't burn the leaves, which is good. So all you do is just go along, wet the whole tree. Focus on the branching mainly. You want to wet down the whole tree. Make sure it's all fairly wet. And you don't want to water the foliage at least for another day till it all dries properly. Spray underneath if you can. This bottle's getting a bit empty, so it's a bit hard, but you want to really wet everything. And you'll probably have to reapply. Yeah, it's getting very empty. You'll probably have to reapply, you'll find, because one application will get rid of the majority of them, but there'll always be more. Basically this puts a film over the top of the scale, like a little film over them, and basically it suffocates them. They can't breathe and they die. Another way to help reduce populations of scale if you have an outbreak is to try and get rid of the ant numbers as well. You can kill all the ant nests around, and that'll also get rid of a lot of the scale problems. Because what happens is the ants harvest the scale and they literally, you know, pick up the babies and move them around the tree everywhere. And they're basically farming the scale, the ants are. So they move them everywhere around the tree, and the scale gets the benefit because they get moved around and populate. And the ants get the benefit because they eat the sappy stuff left behind by the scale, which is like their sugar, like their food. So basically the ants eat the scale crap, and the scale feeds off the sap of the tree. So basically they're all feeding off the tree in a roundabout way. So it does weaken the tree, especially if you get a bad outbreak. So it's good to get under control as soon as possible. So that's about it. Not much else to do. I'll just bring you down and give you a bit of a spin of the tree. Got that nice little pond in there. Okay, cheers for watching, Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe. Give me a bit of feedback, what you'd like to see. No worries. Cheers for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.